protect their residents. Dr. Jeff Lowenkron, Medical Director of Villages Health. Dr. Robert Riley, Internal Medicine for Villages Health. Of course, we have Jared Moskowitz, the Director of the Florida Division of Emergency Management, and then Dr. Rita Smith from the Florida Department of Health. I announced last week that Florida was going to be receiving large shipments of a new rapid test done by Abbott Laboratories called the Binex Now test. It's a test that delivers results in 15 minutes or less. Does not require the results to be run through a lab or any type of a machine, and we wanted to make sure that as soon as we got those, that we were putting those out in the parts of Florida that it would make the most use. And so today we're here to announce how we're going to do that. But before we do that, we're going to do a demonstration on the test. So I've got Jonas from my staff. If he tests positive, he can't fly back to Tallahassee with us, so hopefully he's good. But it's a very simple test to administer, and like each box will have individual packets that have these in it. It has the reagent, which you'll see is being administered. So the reagent is applied. They do two, and these are not the real deep like almost hit your brain type. These are just in the nostrils, both nostrils. You'll see they'll put it in here, close it, and then you get the result. So it's a really interesting technology that they're doing. All right, so we wait, and normally if it's positive, it happens relatively quickly. So we'll read the results there in a few minutes. But when we were given the ability to do these tests, we wanted to really focus it on our senior citizens, because as we know, there's a radical difference in the effects of COVID-19 based on age group. Underlying health conditions a big factor too, but if you look above 70, the survival rate is about 94.5%. If you look at under 50, it's 99.9%. And so we really believe focusing protections on the folks who are most vulnerable to disease is our top priority. And so when we got the initial allotment, and we're going to be getting 400,000+ a week that we're going to continue to be distributing, we wanted to focus on two main areas as it relates to senior citizens. One, continue what we've been doing with long-term care facilities and nursing homes. The federal government has actually sent the Binex Now test directly to about 800 nursing homes throughout the state of Florida. We have over 4,000 total long-term care facilities, and so we are sending these tests to the remaining roughly 3,200 long-term care facilities. And of course, that could be used to continue with the screening of the staff, which if you do regularly, you may be able to pick up an infection and prevent it from spreading. But also now that we have visitation back, we have not required tests in order to have visitation, because our view is you can mitigate and you have the PPE, and to say someone gets a test and then they get their results back 48 hours later, well, that may be accurate from when they took the test, but we don't know what's happened in the 48 hours. So we said, let's mitigate, focus on things like PPE, doing some of the basic things. But even though it's not required, now that you have a 15-minute test, this can also help visitation in our long-term care facilities. And so they'll have the ability to do that as they see fit. And again, using this new technology in a way that is protecting our most vulnerable and saving lives is really the key. But we also understood, as important as our long-term care facility residents are, because if you look, not just the age, but if you look at 70+ in those facilities are much higher risk than 70+ who would be living independently and not need that type of assistance. There's a big difference there. But we also wanted to help the broader senior community. And so we went and are looking at all the different senior communities throughout Florida, like the Villages, and we're sending these to facilities like that. So you have the Villages, you have places like Sun City Center in the Tampa Bay area, Century Village, all those complexes in southern Florida, places like On Top of the World in Ocala and others. We believe that this will help give them more tools to be able to protect the residents who live there. So we're excited about this. We think it's something that can really make a difference. So of the 400,000 tests for this week, and we're going to be getting these every week, we have 100,000 for long-term care facilities and 180,000 for all these senior communities. Again, that's just 1 week's worth of stuff. But we also know there are other communities, senior communities, that may want these. We have some that express an interest that we were able to identify, but we think that there's probably many more. And so if you do not have, aren't on the agenda to get one of these by next now, but you'd like it, you can actually send an email to Rapid Test for Seniors. Again, that's Rapid Test for Seniors at em.myflorida.com. Again, Rapid Test for Seniors at em.myflorida.com. You'll get an automatic reply that leads you to a survey where you can fill out your community's information, including a point of contact. And the way we view these as important for senior communities, one, it can help provide an ability to get quick test results. If you're doing some type of event amongst the seniors, then maybe they want to have that option. When people come and visit their family, you'd have an option to be able to have a quick test result. And again, the tests aren't the end-all be-all. Doing the basic mitigation, the sanitation, staying home if you're sick, all that's still important. But it's an additional tool that can not only help identify virus and obviously keep it out of some of these communities, but also affirmatively allow seniors to be able to live and enjoy life and have the confidence that they can do that. So we think it's really, really important. We also have, in terms of the initial allotment, we have 60,000 tests that are going to be sent to our school districts throughout the state of Florida. And this will be for any student or teacher who develops symptoms and needs to be tested. What we found is, I think most are doing a good job of, if a student's sick, they're staying home. We do have all this on the internet now, so you still can keep up with your schoolwork. But if a student is either sent to school that's sick or becomes sick in school, you take the student out, isolate them. But then if you can get a 15-minute test and you get the negative, then you don't have to worry about isolating some of these other students. And I think what we found is there have been students that have been forced to isolate who are healthy. And I think healthy quarantining is not effective. It's not something that we want to see done on a large scale. So these tests really give you the ability to take that off the table if you have somebody that's...
All right, we're listening right now to Governor Ron DeSantis. He is talking about rapid tests that we've been hearing about for weeks now. Well, they are now here in Florida. You just heard the governor, Ron DeSantis, announce that. In fact, he showed us a demonstration, and one of his staffers there waiting to get back the results from that. These are rapid tests that take about 15 minutes or so. We do want to note the focus right now, the emphasis is on our senior communities. He's saying that we're going to receive up to 400,000 of these rapid tests a week, more than 400,000. Right now, the majority of those tests will be going for our senior communities, towards those communities, but there will be tests sent to our school districts as well, school districts all throughout Florida. This is something a lot of you have been asking about, these rapid tests. Who exactly will these be available to? But again, right now, the focus is on our senior communities, and some 60,000 tests will also be sent to our school districts throughout the state. Now, this is something we'll continue to listen in on. You'll also have it online for you at firstcoastnews.com, and we'll bring you updates.